very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashingsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines first. National War Heroes Day commemorations will take place tomorrow, graced by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Ministry of Civil Aviation announces a number of concessions for the aviation sector, including a 3-month period of no rental payments at the PIA. News in detail. Sri Lanka today marks the 11th anniversary of its victory over the LTTE separatist group, and the National War Heroes commemoration will be held at the Battaramulla National War Heroes Monument tomorrow, headed by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Tamil separatist group, named the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, led an armed rebellion for over 25 years against the Sri Lankan government with the intent of setting up a separate Tamil homeland in the northern and eastern province of the island nation, and was defeated by the Sri Lankan armed forces in 2009. The long-reigning civil war engulfed civilians, intellectuals, and key political leaders of all ethnicities. The civil war, which spanned for almost 3 decades, had reverberating effects on country's economy and its socio-political status. The formal end to the separatist war was signalled with the discovery of the body of the LTTE chief Velupillai Prabhakaran. The ceremony, scheduled to be held tomorrow, is in commemoration of the 11th anniversary of the end of the civil war amidst the coronavirus pandemic in the country. This year's National War Heroes Day commemoration ceremony, organised by the Ranaviru Seva Authority and adhering to health guidelines, will begin at 4 p.m. after the arrival of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, as the chief guest, and preceded by the Prime Minister and other invitees in succession. A total of 28,619 of the fallen armed forces will be remembered by a 2-minute silence in honor of their memory. In addition, a record promotion for 14,617 other rankers of the army is scheduled to take place on the day's state commemoration.
වර්තමානයේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද්ධ හමුදාව
Sri Lanka Army has been working beyond preserving the national security. With the COVID-19 situation in the country, Sri Lanka Army has further engaged in nation-building efforts and humanitarian work. By the way, we have defeated the war, and the way we have engaged in containing the COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka, we have proven that there is nothing we cannot do.
The Department of Meteorology announces that the severe cyclonic storm Amphan has further intensified into an extremely severe cyclonic storm, and it is very likely to intensify into a super cyclonic storm during the next 12 hours. Fishing and naval community are requested to be attentive regarding the information and warnings issued by the department or the Disaster Management Center. The Department of Meteorology said it is likely to move through north-northeast towards West Bengal coast during the afternoon of May 20th. According to the forecast issued for tomorrow, the prevailing showery conditions over the island, particularly in the southwestern part, is likely to continue further. It also says that heavy showers above 150 millimeters are likely at most of the parts of the country, and wind speed can increase up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour at times over the island. Showers or thunder showers will occur in southern, western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces, with heavy showers exceeding 150 millimeters. The official forecast also adds that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in north and north-central provinces, and showers or thunder showers will occur in the afternoon or night elsewhere. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity during thunder showers. The curfew was lifted at 5 a.m. today, and it was reimposed at 8 p.m. today for 23 districts. In the meantime, the work at the government and private organizations in Colombo and Gampaha districts resumed today for the second week under strict health regulations. Accordingly, the Department of Railways announced that a total of 19 trains were in operation today to facilitate around 11,500 passengers who had registered. 7 trains operated along the main line, while 6 operated along the coastal railway line and 4 along the Kalani Valley railway line. 1 train each operated along the Putlam and Northern railway lines. Accordingly, more than 59,000 people have been arrested for curfew violations since police curfew was enforced on the 20th of March. More than 16,400 vehicles were taken into custody during this period. In the meantime, of the 21 COVID-19 patients reported yesterday, 19 cases are Navy officers. Other 2 patients found yesterday are returnees from England who had undergone quarantine. The total count of COVID-19 patients in the country has surpassed 980, with the 21 COVID-19 patients found yesterday. More than 550 COVID-19 contacted patients have been discharged after a full recovery. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Ministry of Civil Aviation announces that they have decided not to charge the monthly rentals from the duty-free shops and other tourism information services at the BIA for a period of 3 months. The ministry also decided not to charge the aircraft parking fees at the Ratmalan Airport for 3 months from March 19th. The decision was announced at a recent meeting held between the Airport and Aviation Services and Minister Prasanna Ranatunga at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Accordingly, the duty-free shops, service establishments and tourist services chambers at the departure and arrival terminals of BIA will be exempted from monthly rent for a period of 3 months starting from March 19th. In addition, airlines that maintain their service booths at the airport will be free of charge for a period of 3 months from April 2020. Moreover, the ministry has decided to charge only 50% of the monthly rent for the cargo facilities at the airport for 3 months from April. It has been further decided not to charge aircraft parking fees from the airlines at Ratmalan Airport for 3 months from March 19th. Minister of Industrial Export, Investment Promotion, Tourism and Aviation Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that the government would reconsider whether the concessions can be granted after 3 months. Although the Kattunayake Airport is ready to commence operations, it will take some more time for the tourism and aviation sectors to recover. Hence, the minister is of the view that these concessions will be reconsidered in June. Former Prime Minister and UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe complains that government's response to the COVID-19 situation in the country is inadequate. He further stresses that the government should come up with an economic assessment of the current situation and formulate a credible economic package to that end.
The economic consequence of coronavirus is a global economic recession. The global GDP will show a -3% negative growth. The lockdown will also affect our markets negatively. It will also bring about a negative GDP growth. Apparel exports will lose 60% of the income. Tourism will have a very bad year. Foreign remittances will mostly be reduced by 20%. Economic impact is not limited to the reduction of foreign exchange earning. A large reduction in domestic revenue. The recent tax adjustments has led to a lower revenue collection. Lockdown affected the domestic markets. A significant portion of the domestic retail trade is based on imports. Domestic industries require imported raw materials. The ban on import is affecting these sectors. Faced with job losses as well as self-employment opportunities, there will be about 5 lakhs of people who will be unemployed. We need to address these issues, work with the IMF. First, give the country an economic assessment of the current situation. Then a credible economic package. Jobs and livelihoods are at stake.
Based on information gathered mainly through the Contact Sri Lanka web portal of the Ministry of Foreign Relations, it is reported that over 38,983 overseas Sri Lankans in 143 countries at present seek to return home. This comprises of 3,078 students, 4,040 short-term visa holders, 27,854 migrant workers, 3,527 dependents, and 484 dual citizens and others. Accordingly, as per the statement issued by the Foreign Ministry, it is reported that since 21st April up to now, 3,600 overseas Sri Lankans have been repatriated from 15 countries, largely comprising foreign students and government officials on training as well as their dependents. Recognizing the need to collect data on vulnerable overseas Sri Lankans, the Ministry of Foreign Relations, with the assistance of the Information and Communication Technology Agency, on 26 March 2020 created the Contact Sri Lanka web portal within a week following closure of the airport to inbound commercial flights. In parallel to the portal, Sri Lanka missions were also instructed to collect data on those who wish to return, and the two sources serve as the base for identifying vulnerable groups, prioritizing and repatriation. According to Acting Director General of Multilateral Economic Affairs and Overseas Sri Lankans, Anzul Jan, since Contact Sri Lanka web portal launch, 78,033 Sri Lankans have registered on the portal, and a dedicated team operating effectively 24/7 have answered 7,788 questions posed by overseas Sri Lankans from across the globe, mainly on assistance on repatriation and consular issues, but also relating to other operational and policy matters. The statement further added that the portal has not only been able to direct Sri Lankans to the nearest Sri Lankan diplomatic missions, especially where there is no Sri Lankan representation in the country is concerned, but also to help connect with vulnerable categories of Sri Lankans who are in need of food and also face medical emergencies with provision of dry rations, medicines, and in some occasions facilitating arrangements for shelter. Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 167.81 points to close at 4,606.85, and the S&P SL 20 gained 92.2 points to close at 1,847.71. The turnover was 1.06 billion rupees and over 34 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all the news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the same time. Until then,